Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about independent and dependent clauses. A related group of words with a subject and a predicate is called a clause. A clause that makes sense by itself is an independent clause. A clause that does not make sense by itself is a dependent clause. Let's look at a few examples. They came to the island in canoes is an independent clause because it has both a subject and a predicate. Even though it was a long trip is a dependent clause because it only contains a predicate. Let's talk a little bit about complex sentences. A complex sentence contains both an independent and a dependent clause. Now there are a few rules you need to think about when you're writing complex sentences. If your dependent clause comes first, you need to set it off with a comma. Here's an example. Even though it was a long trip, many people were happy to make it. You can see that I put a comma between a long trip and many people because even though it was a long trip is not a complete sentence. Here's an example where the independent clause comes first. It doesn't need a comma. Many people made the trip even though it was difficult. Many people made the trip is my independent clause because that can be a sentence all by itself. Even though it was difficult cannot be a sentence all by itself, so it comes second. I hope you understand a little bit more about independent and dependent clauses.